我操！他有病啊！我操！他不怕摔下来吗？
Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So listen, the video I got for y'all today is absolutely insane. Like, I'm talking life or death type crazy. So there's this woman in China who got caught up in an affair, right? And when the wife came home unexpectedly, she literally climbed out of a 10th floor window and scaled down the building like Spider-Woman. This really happened on November 30th, 2025 in Guangdong Province, southern China, and it was all caught on camera. So allegedly, this woman was having an affair with a married man. They're in his apartment on the 10th floor when suddenly the wife comes home early. Now, instead of being a man and handling the situation, this dude allegedly pushes the woman onto the balcony and just leaves her out there. So now she's stuck outside, 10 floors up, and she's got a choice to make. Either stay there and get caught by the wife or try to escape. And bro, she chose escape. Look, I'm not gonna tell you what to think or push you one way or the other. I'm just gonna let y'all see this video and hear the details for yourselves. Then I wanna hear what you think in the comments. Let's get into it.
他有病啊！我操！他不怕摔下来吗？
So the woman, she's got long black hair, wearing this white miniskirt, and she's holding her mobile phone the whole time. She starts by dangling from the window with one arm. People on the ground and in other apartments are already screaming because they can see what's about to happen. She's edging along the side of the building on these narrow ledges that don't have any protective barriers. At one point, she even talks briefly to the shirtless man through the window, who's supposedly her lover, but then he just goes back inside and leaves her out there. Here's where it gets absolutely terrifying. She tries to climb down using a water pipe and she loses her grip. She slides down an entire story from the 10th floor to the 9th floor, falling fast. Somehow, and I don't even know how, she manages to brace her feet on the edge of a lower balcony and grab onto the pipe again. Bro, if she had missed that balcony, that would have been it. So now she's stranded on the 9th floor, clinging to this pipe, realizing she can't keep going down. She moves sideways toward a neighbor's window and starts banging on the glass, desperately trying to get their attention. Thank God the neighbor was home. They open the window and pull her inside to safety. No injuries reported. The whole thing lasted less than a minute, but for everyone watching from the ground, it felt like forever.
我操！我操！他有病啊！我操！他不怕摔下来吗？他怎么还不是？
人呢？
哇，那兄弟啊，妈的，听咱屁股啊，屁股。我怕咱们。要不是那个，
The video blew up on Chinese social media immediately. Weibo, Douyin, which is China's version of TikTok, everyone was sharing it. Then it spread internationally on YouTube, Instagram, X, all of it. By mid-December, we're talking millions and millions of views. News outlets like the South China Morning Post, Times of India, NDTV, they all covered it. And bro, the comments, they went crazy. Let me read some of these to you because the internet had opinions. Someone on Weibo said, "This woman is risking everything for what? A man who will not even spend money on a hotel room for her, and who is so afraid of his wife that he lets you take all the risks." Another one said, "If you say she is timid, she dares to climb tall buildings. If you say she is brave, she does not even have the courage to face the man's legal wife." But one of the realest comments I saw was this: "What was once known to only 3 people is now known by the entire neighborhood." Because think about it, before that video went viral, maybe only the 3 of them knew about the affair. Now the whole world knows. Now look, I gotta give you all some context about what's really going on in China when it comes to cheating and relationships, because this isn't just some random crazy story. This is actually part of a bigger trend. So here's the thing. Adultery in China isn't a crime. You're not going to jail for cheating. But socially, bro, it's a massive taboo. And the Chinese culture is rooted in Confucian values, family harmony, and all of that. Cheating goes against everything they believe about marriage and family. So when it happens, people lose their minds. And it's happening more and more because studies show that infidelity rates in urban China have been rising. Back in the 1990s, we're talking low single digits. And by the 2020s, some estimates say 20 to 30% of married people in cities have cheated. That's a huge jump. This is hugely because of modernization. People are migrating for work, online dating is everywhere, women are more financially independent, and traditional values are clashing with modern lifestyles. Now let's talk about divorce because the numbers tell a crazy story. In 1998, China had about 1.05 million divorces. By 2019, that number hit 4.7 million. That's more than quadrupling in just over 20 years. Divorce rates went from 0.85 per 1,000 people to 3.36 per 1,000. Urbanization, women's empowerment, and relaxed divorce laws, all of it contributed. But then in 2021, the Chinese government introduced this thing called a cooling off period to reduce the rising divorce rate. So if you want to get divorced, you have to wait 30 days before it's finalized. The idea was to stop impulsive divorces and encourage couples to work things out. And bro, it worked, maybe too well. Divorces dropped by 70% in the first quarter after the law was introduced. In 2021, divorces fell to about 2.96 million, then to 2.11 million in 2022. But here's the thing, people started figuring out how to work around it. By 2023 and 2024, divorces were back up to about 2.6 million because more people were going through the courts instead, which bypasses the cooling off period. And here's something wild. There was a 2012 report from Renmin University that looked at over 100 corruption cases involving Chinese officials. Guess what they found? 95% of the officials who were indicted had engaged in extramarital affairs, and 60% of them were supporting mistresses using bribes or embezzled money. So cheating isn't just a personal thing in China. It's tied to corruption, power imbalances, all of that. Now, there's even a whole industry around dealing with affairs. They're called mistress dissuaders. These are professionals who get hired by the wife to befriend the mistress and convince her to end the affair. It's a booming business. The New York Times covered it and everything. That's how serious this issue is in China. So when you watch this video of the woman climbing down the building, understand that she's not just risking her life for some guy. She's caught in a culture where being exposed as a mistress can destroy your entire reputation, where the man involved might be powerful and unwilling to help her, and where the consequences of getting caught are severe, even if they're not legal. But here's what gets me. The dude, the man involved, didn't even try to help her. He pushed her onto the balcony and left her to figure it out. People online have been dragging him for that, calling him a coward, saying he has no spine. Because if you're gonna cheat, at least have the decency to own up to it when you get caught. Don't put someone's life in danger to save yourself from an awkward conversation. I've seen people comparing her to Spider-Woman because of how she moved on that building.
哎呀妈呀，小心点啊！
没事的，我能调。
哎呀，小心点啊！
是练你对不对？
啊。
And yeah, she showed some serious agility, but that wasn't skill. That was pure survival instinct. She was terrified and trying not to die. So now I want to know what y'all think. Do you think the man should face consequences for putting her in that situation? Do you think she should have just faced the wife instead of risking her life? Let me know in the comments. Drop your thoughts, be respectful, but be real. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're covering more stories like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.